Hello and welcome back. Today I will be talking about life after death and what I have learned from my own spiritual journey and doing a lot of spiritual communication on behalf of other people. So, yes, I have seen like a tunnel going up, and it's almost like a weightlessness, like a, I guess the term would be like walking on water. Um, then I describe it almost like popping into areas, um, and and kind of like there's a lot of, for me, the, I guess what I saw for myself was like there's a lot of people there waiting for you, and it's almost like you have a few spiritual, what we call guides, but it's just a few souls, and uh, they're reviewing and watching over your life. And the best way I know how to describe it is it's almost like watching in the movies, like you see the patient being operated on, and then there's the doctors in the background looking through a window, watching the surgery being performed. So, like, the guides are sitting there watching through the window as you're living your life, and then bringing in expertise from other souls, um, that you may need at different times. So it's like other souls are coming in and helping you, and then going back. Um, and this is where I find it kind of interesting because uh, having talks about it, it's like you real quick realize that you're never alone. You're never alone going to the bathroom, to sleep. You're just never alone whatsoever. And there's always someone there watching. And at first, that kind of caught me off guard. I knew we were not alone, but never alone. Um, and that just threw me back. Um, the hardest thing I've done with learning about spirituality was going in front of what we would call God. And that was a very sober awakening experience. It was almost like I was being judged, but not judged by God, but by myself. And it reminded me like being a child and knowing that you did something wrong, and your parents looking at you, and you're so scared and worried because what you have done, and you don't know how your parent is going to react. And it's that sinking feeling in your gut. Um, that was very sobering. It felt like it almost felt like someone grabbed me by the neck and threw me down on the ground in a praying stance, or kind of like how Muslims pray. And I had such a hard time lifting my head, and I just kept hearing that voice tell me, "Why can't you see me? Why can't you see me?" And the more that that voice said that, almost like a father telling you, what did you do? And I could see myself every time, everything that I did, right or wrong, and all of its consequences. And that was very scary, because of, even when you know you're doing something right, there's still going to be a negative reaction for someone else. And then quickly I realized that there is no right or wrong on the spirit side, on the other side. It's because every action, every experience has its positives and its negatives. And so when we think of something right, it's really what's right for us, because it's going to have a negative effect for someone. And then feeling the pain of the negative of that someone else was the hardest thing to do, even though something felt right, and something that you've done and it causes harm to yourself, but can create a positive effect for someone else. And this is where things get really strange at, and so difficult to explain. And so you're going through this, and the whole objective is, can you stand in front of God and hold your head up? Look at God. And that was such an awakening moment. And I think that on a spiritual level probably um, disturbed me the most for about 3 years of my life, trying to figure out, how do I compromise with all of this, come to uh, feel content, I should say. And that made me a lot more kinder, and made me more understanding of other people, that life is definitely not black and white, and maybe not even gray. Um, but then again, I realized we need to live by rules and some sort of moral value. But it's that, it's the other side, that the stuff can be played on you, and getting you to really think deeply about things, and seeing things from other views, just not seeing it but feeling it like it's also you. And that was a very interesting experience. um, Other times that I have popped into components of what most people would call heaven is more like classrooms. But the classrooms, the walls are like they don't exist, but they exist. It's almost like I'm you're in a room, but you can't see the walls, and it looks like it's you can perceive it as if it's going on forever, like there's no boundaries, but yet there's boundaries. And that was interesting. And what I saw what I saw at that time was class going on, almost studying what people have learned from their life here, and what they're learning next to get closer to God. And that was an interesting experience. Um, the other time that I popped in a few times, it's almost like when you pass away after you get through judgment. It's like you're going into a waiting room, waiting for the rest of your group. So what I realized is the souls that are in your class, they were all being born about the same time frame, and we may not be relatives, but it could be someone who's working at the gas station and is the mechanic and the attorney, and could be a lot of different people. And we're all kind of intermixing, just not realizing that we're in the same class because we're on the same lesson. We're just learning that lesson through slightly different perceptions. And when we pass away, we're kind of waiting for the rest of the group to come in as they're passing on and going to the other side. So we're kind of staying in a group, and from there you go back to the classroom. So like if you pass that chapter of learning experience, and then you move on to another chapter, but you're kind of like you're graduating from a chapter, or you're failing a chapter, or you have to go back and redo that chapter. But it's like it's an ongoing process, almost like going through elementary, high school, college, and so on. And that was very interesting. And what I saw was that some people did not want to go back; they wanted to stay here. Uh, they liked this life; they liked what they had here, and it was like they were complaining that they just want to go back. And as the group is filling in, you can see people just talking and uh, talking about their experiences and sharing information. The other thing that I saw is when people come to, or souls come to Earth, it's like there's a waiting line to get here. It's not like you just go to the other side and you can come back if you want to. You have to wait, almost like wait your turn. And so it's like a long line to get here. So what's funny is everyone's so quick to get through this life and to leave. But once we're on the other side, it's like we're so quick trying to get back. And I find that interesting. That's not everyone, but so many people. I find that very interesting because most people complain about the struggle of life and seem so unhappy being here, and yet so many want to be here. And that was very interesting. And that will bring me into psychic communication I did for one person, where basically the message was is get up off of your butt. You're not dead yet. You need to get busy living. Otherwise, it's a wasted life. And my wife was there at the time, and she's like, I can't believe what you said to the person. The person came back and told me that was the best reading they ever had. And I hate the word reading, and I don't know why I fall into that trap too. I feel like I'm a translator. Um, not I'm not reading someone, I'm translating. And that was it's very interesting because the messages I find are said the way they need to be said for the person that it's intended for, not for anyone else, because then it doesn't make sense. And that was interesting. That's always been interesting to me. Um, but to the other side, it's it's a bag of tricks, and I only get every once in a while when I'm lucky, I get a glimpse. But my feeling is it's not like it's not like heaven where um, it's all peaceful and beautiful and um, you're just pampered. It's more like there are things that you have to do, kind of like being here. There are things that you have to do, and that was interesting. Like there's not really that sense of peace. It's almost like you're working you're working towards something, and you're working to understand something. So it's not as if you're getting just a break and you don't have to do anything. And the way the other side explained is you get plenty of time to be in the dark. There's only so much light, and when it's your time to play in the light, you better take it, you better use it. And so I find the other side very interesting, but at the same token, I also yearn to go home. And I can't explain that. It's not that I want to not be here anymore. I realize that this is temporary and that home is not here. But we try to make this as comfortable as we can. So, with that, I hope I helped explaining a little bit about the other side. And I can't claim that I know everything about the other side. I'm not that privileged. I can tell you only the little bit that I have seen. With that said, I hope you like this video, and don't please subscribe. Um, I want to keep doing more content as time goes on. I want to get this information out that I have learned. Maybe it helps someone else who is having psychic experiences or on a spiritual path. And so every like helps dramatically. With that said, you take care, and I'll see you next time.